up, everyone? So in today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit new for me. I came across it just the other day, and I thought it would be a really good thing to share. So in today's video, it's going to be more about the settings that I'm using now for my graphics to help me see things a lot better in the game. So first things first, I thought it would be a little bit better if I could just shoot it in the air so you can kind of see a little view of everything. So one thing for me, I don't know why it is, but whenever I start my game, I normally have to go and switch my graphics to full screen. If you don't know, when you have it on full screen borderless, you don't really have much of the render resolution compared to how you have it on the full screen. So depending on your monitor, you're able to use more of the FPS. So with this, I'll get full use of the 240 hertz monitor that I have. So that already makes a huge adjustment to how the map is going to look. So, I'm about to hit the ground. Let's take a look right here. Okay. So one thing that it helps, I don't know about console, but I know PC for sure, is if you have NVIDIA, you're able to play around with some of the graphics a little bit. So for instance, let's see how this house looks right now versus, let me put out the overlay. And let's add a filter. So this is how it looks right now, but now if I add a filter, it comes up more detailed where I can see things a lot better. It's a little bit brighter, but it's so much more detailed, and I think this is how like COD should be played. Some of the things that I've seen and on the distance that I've seen the people before they can see me it's crazy with just these graphic settings. So again, this is what it looks like off. Okay, but it looks a little bit more dull, a little bit more stale, versus now adding the filters. So I mean, like, these are the filters I'm using. Let's use a blank one. So for instance, I'll add color. Under my color settings, I played around with it a little bit. I think it somewhat kind of mirrors it to a certain extent, if I'm correct. 18 to 54. So for color, I brought this down to 18. I thought that was going to help with kind of like how some of the colors kind of mesh together. Temperature, I don't really touch too much. This I brought up to 54. So that's kind of how I did for the color. Another filter that I was using was the brightness. Brightness, again, some of the stuff we leave, we don't really touch too much. It just depends on you yourself and your personal preference. The contrast, I brought it down to 0. I didn't really want to add too much contrast to the game. The highlights, if I'm correct, I think I brought that down to negative 60, 30. The gamma I didn't touch. The shadows I didn't touch. I left those alone as is. Now, this one for sure is going to be on your personal preference. So I use Sharpen. Now, some of these settings I kind of mirrored off with someone else, but some of these I have to play around to my own personal preference. At the end of the day, it's going to be what works for you, not necessarily what works for everyone. Under the Sharpen, let's see, 70, 100. So I brought the Sharpen up to 70. Ignore film grain. Some people will say to leave it low. Some people like it midpoint. Me personally, I thought it worked out very well when I put it at 100. It just detailed things perfectly. So again, if you want to see these settings, let me open up all of this. This is what I'm using currently for these settings. And as you can see, again, me turning it off, again, it gives you that dull feel to it versus now let's see what it looks like again when it's on. You get a more vibrant gameplay. And again, it's not something that it's for everyone. To me, I think it really details the game. Like, just look how much more detailed that house is. Like, I can see everything so much more clearly. Like, look how detailed the trees are. That if someone was hiding over there like normal, I could see them from now. Like, with these settings, I think it's going to help improve gameplay. It helped me a lot yesterday. I saw that me seeing the enemy before they saw me was a whole different thing. So try it out. You never know. It might work for you, it might not, but you never know. So, till next time, guys.